Alright folks, am I in the shock now?
Yeah.
Right, welcome back to the Topcast, the greatest stories never told, season 1, episode 3. I'm buzzing with the guests we have today. Very different, very diverse, very completely different audience, completely different demographic to the first two I've had on. And I'm very interested in listening to his story. He goes by the name of Panch. Nice for coming on, mate.
Anytime.
And this is an exclusive, by the way. Panch hasn't done any bleeding
First interview, you know yourself.
First interview,
Put
so
the earlier first.
that's
You know
it.
how it
Pastry
is.
all the way, yeah.
You know how it is.
So, what I want to get you to talk about, mate, is tell the people a little bit about yourself. You know, people who listen to your music, you probably have a few people who follow you and fans and stuff now with your music. And before we get into the music, let's talk a little bit about the person behind the music and where you grew up and how that was coming up. And we're both in the same area, so do you want to take it away?
Yeah.
Where are you from originally?
Kirsty,
Yeah.
D2 Markridge House stick.
Yeah? What was it like growing up in Markridge?
It's alright, like it was hard as a kid. You got on, do you know what I mean? Just done what you had to do. Everyone grew up together playing games in the flats. Just good community spirit and all, do you know what I mean?
Did you find that community spirit growing up? Like, do you think it's still there today? Do you think it was better back then, or?
It is in the younger generation, like you still see it, like the younger generation still do what we were doing. The 10-year-olds nowadays are still down the flats playing football on the pitch and all still doing what they're doing.
Do you not think PlayStations are not taking over?
It does completely. Everyone's in playing online, they're playing Warzone, playing bleeding Fortnite, everything with each other, do you know what I mean? But they're all still doing the same things as the community. But it's just, when you get older, do you know what I mean? It just kind of goes, do you know what I mean?
And we were talking there earlier on, before we started here off camera, about the name Panch. Give us a bit of background on that. Where's that come from?
My name's Anjo. Like, that's my nickname.
I knew you as Anjo all my life.
That's what I'm saying, that's my
You
nickname.
were always a younger kid. What age are you now?
22.
22, so I'm only gone 27, so I'm 5 years older than you, so I was the generation ahead of you. And I always remember you as little Anjo and everything else, but now you're bleeding towering over me, so you're not little Anjo anymore. So, but yeah, how did Anjo evolve into Panch? That's like bleeding
Literally,
P Diddy and Puff Daddy into just Diddy.
Literally, it's literally a minor thing. It was the bloke that done me videos, Ed did it. Like, just called me Ancho, just sent in, then the name is Panch.
He just fucking flipped it.
Sent in his Panch.
And that was it then, just
Fact TV had it up as Panch. I was like, right, my name's Panch now, do you know what I mean? Just had to change the name on Instagram and all. It was like something like Ancho _ D2. Had to change it to Panch. I was like, right, I have a new rap name now, do you know what I mean?
That's it, yeah, you have a new alias, yeah. You have to stick with that now.
He didn't choose it, they just put it on me.
And will it stay at Panch now? We're going to keep it there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't change it, do you know what I mean? The fans won't find us on YouTube with two names.
Yeah. What school did you go to in were you in CK?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember you being in CK. Yeah, you would have been a few years under me, yeah. And what did you find, what was school like for you back then in primary school and everything?
I was a demon in school.
Yeah.
I was by far me and two or three people worse in my class.
Yeah.
By far.
Like CK, did you stay with CK all the way through?
Yeah, I stuck to it. Like, I was just hyper in class, do you know what I mean?
Couldn't calm down?
No. Stuck to it literally.
Give us a few examples. Would you have been fucked out classes and
Sure, no. I was barely in class. I was in more like out class than I was in. Like, when everyone was in the yard, I was always on the wall. Like, when people were playing games, like, I was always in punishment. Barely ever. Like, I remember fighting with my mad and all.
Do you remember that bleeding getting put on the wall?
Yeah, I was straight Mr. Gallagher bleeding, had me on the wall probably 90% of the time, do you know what I mean? I'm not joking.
I'll tell you now, there was a few things that went on in that fucking school now that I look back on and think it shouldn't have been happening. I remember bleeding Gallagher well in the arse off one of my mates.
I remember I was sitting there in 6th class, out straight, literally the last time in my class, and I'm sitting there in class, two of the boys are out there getting thrown out. And I'm sitting in the class and he walks in and I just start laughing. I'm only 12 years of age, when he walks into like 12-year-old kid and drags him out of the chair like this, I mean, he dragged me out my time like that.
Good bleeding bag of real stuff.
I'm not messing, we were better down in primary school. Yeah, we were bad eggs.
What did you do then from there? Did you continue on in school? Did you finish up in school? Or?
I went to secondary school, I went to Rings and Tech.
You went to Tech, did you? You didn't go to Brothers?
No, couldn't that. I wanted to go to Brothers, but my ma said to me, go Tech, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was like, there's no point, it's going to be like City Key. Everybody in City Key's going to the Brothers. She's like, you're going to be thrown out by first year.
Start mixing with a new crowd then.
Try and get with new people. But it's the same on me. Went down first year. It's the worst in the class. I reckon I was probably like, it's nothing to be like proud of. Do you know what I mean?
What do you think that's about that? Why do you think that was in school? Could you just not adapt? Was it just
I
not?
had ADHD, big
Yeah,
time. You know,
you have it. So you couldn't focus. You couldn't.
It's hype. I just don't listen. Didn't want to. Like just always rebelled. It's always trying to be the class clown and all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Always trying to make a show in the class. Just being childish. Do you know what I mean?
And what was your group of mates like? What would they have been like back then? What age you were going into first year? With like 13, are we?
13, 14.
13, 14. What are your mates like back then? What's your circle like? What's your environment
They're
like?
still only playing in the flats, do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
still
Like, we
kids.
still hadn't actually grew up. We were only at the end of the day going to first year, so we were only making the transaction in the main teenagers, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. You were growing up, I suppose, and getting a few hairs in your balls and everything else.
that's literally all that. You know what I mean? So we didn't really know what to do. We're still the same people, still 30, 40 people a while ago. We were still going collecting for Halloween together, do you know what I mean? Like, we are still a big group. There was no reason why none of us ever stopped talking to each other, do you know what I mean? Like, we were all still
for
close.
me now, when I was about 14, I was already drinking. I was knackered drinking at 14, and we actually started hanging around Ringsend myself, so I was very familiar with the park and that area. I went from Pear Street down to Ringsend. My dad always says about Ringsend, listen to this one, my dad always says Ringsend's only good for two things: footballers and horse. So he said that before, right, to some fella, and your man says back to him, "Hey, are you? My man's from Ringsend." He said, "What position does she play?" so you know what it is. So, but Ringsend is a bleeding. It's that's what we were only saying coming down.
It's a mad drink.
It gels with Pear Street almost. You know what I mean? But we were saying Sheriff Street's closer to Pear Street. We had no more people from Ringsend community and Pear Street's community. You know, they gel better
We're
together.
Southside there.
Southside, that's the separation. Yeah.
It's a bridge there. It's a bridge for a reason.
100%. And so, would you have been drinking? What did you start drinking? Do you drink?
I don't drink now, to be honest with you, because of like stuff that happened in my life. Do you know what I mean? I would have went out with like going to sessions and all this kids drinking, but when it's
Where was the spot?
the Nike side,
Yeah.
the container, there was a good few down the Nitro Walk. But when I was 14, 15, when everyone else was drinking, I started sniffing. Do you know what I mean?
When you were 14, 15,
do you know what I mean? First time I ever sniffed, I remember me and four of the boys who dry sniffed, got a bag off somebody in the area, literally. We went up to the gaff, dry sniffing.
No
my
bag?
didn't even know we smoked grass at this time. First time I ever got I went up to the house, she says to me, I heard you're that been smoking grass, you're doing a drug test. So I'm like, bollocks, that's just coke in my system, do you know what I mean? It's fair enough she finds green in my system, 14, 15 year old uncle finding coke in their system, at your parent, like for your parent, that's not nice on her behalf, do you know what I mean?
Big time.
Like, and I'm there bollocks, and I'm there saying like, I'm not doing a drug test, out the bouts out of the gaff. Do you know what I mean? Not come back for 2 or 3 days till the coke's gone from my system. Like starting to panic, do you know what I mean? Knowing that I'm going to be looked at differently when this happens, and boom, drug test done. She found that out, and then just went mad from there. Just
14, 15, mate, that's young to start, you know what I mean? I think I bleeding done. I can't even remember when I first started. It started with the gargling anyway, I believe, and then
sessions with your mates and all, do you know what I mean?
it just kind of happens, you know.
Experimentation, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a curiosity, isn't it?
We're
And
young,
then
we're curious,
what do you think led you down like into that sort of like the looks of dry sniffing, not even drinking and smoking grass at such a young age? Where do you think it started? For me, it was like hash, pollen.
Making my own mistakes. I can't really be one to blame like this stuff around me or anything with my environment. I had my mad that wanted me like try their best to get me like to get me head together. Do you know what I mean? I had to suffer badly from my own things, like my own losses in life to learn. Do you know what I mean? But like, I wouldn't advise it.
I respect, you know what I mean? That's a good thing to do, is to take responsibility for it. It was my choice, is what you're saying.
I was the first one that rang up the person and said, get that bag away so we could try sniff. I was the one that picked up my first strength. I was the one that got my first batch of drugs to myself, you know what I mean? I was the first one that ever spent me bail money. It was all on me, you know what I mean?
You went from taking drugs to selling drugs eventually, yeah? And what would you...
Habit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Was that the main?
You don't know, have a put a few extra quid in the pocket. It wasn't anything about being a big man. It was none of this
Just to feed a
reputation
habit.
thing. Literally, I'm not going to lie here on camera and be like, oh, I was selling drugs to be a trapper, to do this, to do that. I was doing this so I could feed my grain addiction. Do you know what I mean? Smoking grass at the age of bleeding 14, 15 and all, do you know what I mean?
And that's what I'm saying, like I said before we started this, like, this is your show, you know what I mean? I want you to talk about your story here, and as much as we don't want to promote all this sort of stuff,
It's life, do you know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and say my life is fairy tales when it's not, you know what I mean?
100%, you know, and this, like a lot of people like to turn the cheek and pretend it's not happening or point the finger and take the moral high ground and judge, but yeah, growing up in this area, especially for me, I don't know if you'll feel the same, but I'm big on, you should learn your values and your morals and your principles in the home. You should be taught these things by your parents, and I'm big on that. And I'm big on keeping the nuclear family together. But I had a mom and dad growing up. I had a roof over my head. I had everything you could ask for, and I still ended up doing it.
So I'd have mad done everything for me.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm not going to say that my mad sat there and like she was the reason that I went to my mad done everything for me. Do you know what I mean? From every last thing, from making me brush my teeth so my teeth are straight now in the morning, to taking care of me to when I was 15, 16, even when she shouldn't have had to, paying out money and all, like paying bills and all for me that she shouldn't have had to. And my man's always been there for me, do you know what I mean? Like,
it's nice to have that, you know. You're lucky to have that, because a lot of people don't, mate, you know. And I think having that is having a rock like that in your life is definitely needed to keep you stable, you know. But like I said, it's easy to blame parenting, and it's easy to say, well, why are you letting your kids do this, and why did you let your kids go down that road? But
my choice. Every single decision I made, every decision I made in my life is down to my actions. It's not got to do with me, man. My man raised me right, I don't belong on my own.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Because at the end of the day, my man and dad didn't even know what I was up to. Do you know what I mean? They hadn't a clue. They don't know half the shit that's going on out there.
I probably wouldn't have found out, as I was saying, unless you had to took that drug test. Like, do you know what I mean? If that night never happened, my life probably would have went differently. Like, we probably wouldn't even be in this chair now. Like, do you know what I mean? The road probably would have been different. I probably wouldn't even be rapping. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like if she hadn't done that drug test that night, it might never led out to the falling outs, to stuff happening to me ever realising I could rap and all. Do you know what I mean? Like, so. It is what it is. And with the drugs then, the selling drugs and feeding the habit, like where did that lead you? Is there something that you look back on? Is it something you regret? Is it something you just, it helped you grow through life? Is it something that you needed? The two things you said there, regret and help me grow through life. Like if I took a lot of losses when I was young. Like when I saw drugs, I never gained. Do you know what I mean? From when I started selling them, feeding my own habit, then it was on money out, fucking up €100 bill. Then going to another person, then your bill going from €100 to €200 bill, and then the €300 bill, €400, and like it just kept on going up until it went into four figures, and then, do you know what I mean? And then up until you're at the point where you're
in trouble, you're in deep
water. You know what I mean?
mean?
You're only 15, 16, you're like, oh, what am I gonna do? Like,
I'm not gonna pull this fucking type of money from.
I mean, you're out on the stroke, you're out going out to mad places, rallied up, trying to pull every push by God things trying to get into every car you can, do you know what I mean? Panicking, saying, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like,
and it's rampant now on the streets, isn't it? Like, I mean, drugs are everywhere now.
Everywhere.
And everyone's doing them, and even the people who like to point the finger at the drug dealers and the young fish from where we're from, and the inner city boys and the tracksuits, and they like to blame us on everything. And
what's his targets?
You know what I mean? But it's not like that when they're buying that little bag of powder. You know what I mean?
So like some posh one can scream at me. I scream at some young fella, yeah, you're this, going back through to that's different when you're ringing that line up the weekend and buying it, you know what I mean? So plenty of times
they're funding it,
so plenty of times I've been standing in the flats and there's been people screaming this and that, and I'd love to just scream back. It's different when you're buying it. Do you know what I mean? Shut your fucking mouth, you clown.
That's the thing, isn't it? And the people forget themselves, and this is what bothers me, and this is the whole point about
some people don't forget. People don't have to do crimes because they have to. Do you know what I mean? People don't do stuff they don't have to do. I mean, I think about this. I go up and I get a job. I'm going for a job. I rap now. I know I have a music career. I know I'm about to explode. I know there's good things come up for me. Do you know what I mean? I'm working very hard doing that. But look at it from another person's point. Imagine I didn't rap. Like, I'm going into a job for what? Primary school. Fuck, that was secondary school. went to a learning secondary school for people that was thrown out. Got thrown out. I finished that. Went to my other secondary school. Then in fourth year got thrown out in 3 weeks. Went to first, couldn't last that. Got a job, couldn't last that. Anything I couldn't last, and that could be the same with 90% of the people around there, right? You know what I mean?
And that's the thing, innit? The education system, it's not compatible with everyone, is it?
No.
It's like it doesn't suit everyone. I left school twice in 5th year. Went
So
to
I have a good bit of respect for the people that I did grow up with, that are doing 9 to 5 jobs now, though, that are working their best, that did do at a young age, 15, 16, 17, when they left their schools and all, and they can't get a job. Fair play to them, do you know what I mean? Because
100%.
it was very hard for them. They could have easily been the one standing on the block. Do you know what I mean?
100%. And people sometimes people can look at that sort of mediocre lifestyle as like an easy option, like you're settling. Like you're only taking that 9 to 5 because you're afraid to chase your dreams. But then on the other hand, getting up at the early morning and grafting and doing that 9 to 5 and feeding your kids and putting food on the table, clothes on your back and paying your bills, it's to be respected, you know what I mean?
My man always says it to me. My man, my two close mates always say it to me. They always say there's no point in you focusing on your music unless in yes. Good. Do you know what I mean? They say it's pointless. Like there's no point. You have to fix yourself before you fix you.
100%, mate. And like I said to you earlier on as well, it's like I can sense the self-belief of you, and that's one thing that a lot of people had to have, and especially in the game you're going into, it's like you're trying to bring something new to the scene and everything else. But before we get into the music, we'll just talk a little bit on like leading on to, let's say, coming out of school, finishing up in school. Then what was life for you like then? Where we at then? Headspace was
15 when I got through there. Like,
and you're talking about ramping up these bills and all. Like I mean, how did you cope with all that?
It's stressful. Just kept on getting more. Just an everlasting bill cycle. Literally, that's the only way to put it. Like an everlasting bill cycle. Do you know what I mean? Like 1 week you're paying it, and then it's done, but you're still next week to another person.
It's constant negativity and drama, isn't it?
Yeah. Like I remember being a kid and saying to myself, when am I ever not gonna own money out? Do you know what I mean? Like, and then you have like people that are older than you that would have made a tick out of you. Do you know what I mean? So I don't like people that are my age that go around making ticks out of people that are younger than them. Like literally giving them stuff to sell, knowing that they don't know how to sell it just to get it out of their hands. That's not nice. That's being a clown. Do you know what I mean? Like I was handled stuff the age of 15, 16 when I like silly things that should have been took. Do you know what I mean?
You were naive. You were easily led.
Right.
And there's a lot of kids around, and look, I have nephews in the area who could easily be roped into this sort of game, and I have to be honest, I worry about them, you know, because it's I think it's worse now than when I was growing up. It's everywhere, and they're starting younger. So it's like who's looking out for these fucking kids? You know what I mean?
People like me have to try and look out for them. Do you know what I mean? People like me, I spread the message. I try and say it. Don't live the life that I live. Do you know what I mean? I say it now, and don't live it. It's not good. The real rappers will say it. The ones in England, Fredo, Dave, all them young lads, don't live the life we live. Listen to our music. Listen to all the big artists' music that you listen to. Read between the lines and the lyrics. They're all going through mental problems. Look at Nines, Crabs in a Bucket, his latest film off his album. He's still mentally scarred because of the life that he's had to live. Do you know what I mean?
I haven't seen
Look
much
at
of
Fredo's album that's coming out tomorrow night. It's called, what's it called? It's something got to do with pain. Like it's, I can't even remember, because it's not on the top of my head, but it's something, it's literally something got to do with like, money can't buy happiness, that's the name of it. Which him and Fredo are probably two of the main people in the UK that inspire me, that are like from the backgrounds I'm from. And it's made clear by their music that money and all this, like, and this life that we live is not worth it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do what you have to do, like, but don't. Get out.
Do you believe that message that he says is that money can't buy happiness? Do you believe in that? Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, I'm big for that as well. I believe that too.
Mine's
It's but nowadays it's like,
I should have wrapped with a mask on.
What is that?
And that's the God honest truth, because I don't like, my life, there's no going back now in my life.
You're out there now, yeah?
There's no going back. I either win or I fail. I either blow and I become this big icon thing, which I'm still famous. I never get a moment to myself, regardless. Every word I say gets twisted, and nobody's real. Any girl I ever meet in the future, I don't know if she's going to be with me for me or because I'm famous and I have loads of money. Do you know what I mean? Or it goes the other way. I don't blow. I fail to be made. That's not going to happen. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
But that's the other way, and you're made laughing stock. Do you know what I mean? You're looking at that person that didn't make it. The other person that went on trials for this, like for Man United, but never made it. Do you know what I mean? You're one of them, the laughing stock. The pub. That won't happen with me.
It's sad to see that, and there is so many stories like that. You know what I mean? It's good that you're tuned in and you have the awareness there to be able to spot that.
I want to know myself. I don't like people selling me dreams. People sold me dreams for the last year, and it just left me in a bad headspace. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so getting from owning out bills and going through all that, and where the fuck does the rapping come into? Where's the music come into? How did you get into this? Where did it start? Was it something you always were passionate about? Was it something? No? Go on, you take it away.
But literally, I was out on my lonelies, out by myself. Couldn't go down the block for a while, and it's nothing to do. Do you know what I mean? Zero to do. Like, couldn't do anything else but just walk around and all.
What age are you now?
Listen to music. About
at this point.
18.
About 18.
About 18. Right before my 19th birthday. And I'm just listening, and like, I'm stressed, like, and I'm like, how am I gonna sort these out? How am I gonna sort my bills out? I remember listening to Eminem and Rihanna, that song Live Your Life, and just saying to myself, I'm definitely gonna get through this. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no way I'm not going to. I always have. I'm going to get through it again. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to get worse. Like, it can't. Like, there's no possible way.
Did you feel like you were at rock bottom then? Yeah.
It was at rock bottom. Trust me.
And what was rock bottom like for you? What was going on in your life? Who was around you? What was around you?
Nobody seen me at rock bottom.
It was isolated. You were alone.
Yeah, nobody seen me at rock bottom.
Really, mate?
Yeah. Shocking and horrible. It's the worst time of my life.
Was it? When you were around 18 or 19? This is only a couple of years ago, mate. This isn't
worst
that
time
long.
of my life. Still affects me now. To this day.
Yeah. Okay. What were you up to? Where were you? What were you doing?
Still about. Wasn't near town. I don't even want to actually get into
Too
details of it, but I just wasn't around. You know what I mean? Couldn't ring me ma. Couldn't talk to any of my family. Couldn't talk to any of my friends.
You felt like you burned bridges with people.
It wasn't like burn bridges. I was just paranoid to link anybody.
Paranoid. What do you think caused the paranoia, mate?
I have money. Do you know what I mean? What the fuck?
Just trying to keep the head low, keep it down, keep it stay out.
I mean, like, I had to pay the bill. I knew by going back down to the environment I was in, I was either going to have to take more, which either doubles it, which is a roulette thing. I had a bad gambling problem at the time, do you know what I mean? Haven't gone to the bookies. So I knew, like, every single time it was either double, like, I was taking a risk, so I just said, get myself out here. I said I have to go, do you know what I mean? I wasn't able to go down to my ma. It was at the point where, like, she couldn't have me near the house. Do you know what I mean?
I didn't want trouble bringing both to a door.
Just came to that point, you know what I mean? So I had no choice but to literally get on with it.
Respectful, you know what I mean? I can see by listening to you, I can feel the energy from you that.
Like, when I look back at them times, like, to see her now is mad. Like, I always knew I had to get through it, but I never thought, like, that'd end. Do you know what I mean? I always thought I'd be down doing the same things, doing.
You felt like this was the be all end of you, you know what I mean? And
like, my life was written. Like, I felt like this was done, like, it's written out for me now, do you know what I mean? Because I was after going too far. Because I down now, I had to fix it, do you know what I mean?
And was that the lowest point you've probably ever been at in your life?
Yeah, definitely.
And since then, has it just been climbing and rising? Is it getting better? How are you at now?
No, not really, to be honest with you. Still, every day is go through my own problems and all. Like, I still got my music, I still work, still dying inside, but I have things to do, do you know what I mean? I have to become the biggest artist in Ireland. I have to take over and wear this ground, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Real rap has to become up in Ireland, you know what I mean? Have a lot of bleeding idiots going down bleeding stupid things in front of the country, and I'm off for the wrong reasons, so I have to put up my problems again.
You know what I mean? And I hope you do that, you know what I mean? Like I said earlier on, I don't know a lot about the scene, but getting in, is rap an outlet for you? Do you find when you're rapping, is it like, some people would describe music as like, once they're on the stage, or once they're singing, or once they're in the studio, it's like an out of body experience. It's like that they feel alive almost. It's like, it's uplifting for them. It's like it's a place that they just want to live in.
I haven't been to studio only probably about 2 months. So like going seriously at I going with 2-3 songs ready to go bouncing. I probably haven't went there. My mind's just, I spent lockdown at the start of it just motivated to do songs and all, to do all this, and then that got me through the first lockdown, and then thinking the second lockdown's over, lovely, we're going to be doing our shows and all, got me through that. And this tour, and I just, it's like what am I going to write about, you know what I mean? Like there's, so, like, it's stressful. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Well, sounding from listening to you there, but I mean, I listened to some of your songs like I've seen on YouTube there, you know, and from listening to what you're saying there, you have a story to tell. But I don't.
you only hear the music that I've released.
Yeah.
You haven't heard
Have you got some more like music coming in with the story in it? Like, because the likes of the likes of the top paid dogs in the game, the likes of Lady Eminem, like he made it big by rapping about where he came from, his struggles and what he went through, and do you know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, I feel like that is something that when people hear you talk about these things and they rap about these things, and when you fill up the page with your emotion and your the true version of yourself, that they relate with that. You know
People
what I mean?
think that it's all big features that get you paid, that's these hit songs in clubs and all that get you paid. No, that gets you known for a year and a half. What, do you want to be the average rapper, or do you want to be known like Tupac and Biggie, having people 50, 60 years later knowing their music? I want to be known as the best artist to ever come out of this country. Not even this country, this continent, where I'm only in Europe, do you know what I mean? We're not in America. I want to break through in Ireland, take over Ireland, go over to England, break through, take over England, take over Europe. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, on the Irish rap scene now, what's it like? Is there much competition out there? Do rappers support one another? I remember years ago now, one time way back.
They support you when they don't look at you as competition.
Yeah, and what does it get from?
I support everybody.
Well, at what point do you become competition to these people, though? You know what I'm saying?
Start down numbers.
Yeah.
Start making noise.
So then it's like,
and they stop making noise.
It's fake support then.
Yeah.
It's like,
I
want you to do good, but I don't want you to do as good as me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't want to not support you in the risk that you'll become bigger than them, because you know then you're like, no, you didn't support me. Do you know what I mean?
So where's the start of the rapping game? Where did this come in? What introduced you to it? Where do you remember the first time you started rapping?
Just literally listening to beats, like I wasn't even listening to UK rap really at the start, you know what I mean? Like at the start they used to just, like, UK rap wasn't really up and running at that time. Fred and I weren't really up and running, like as I said when I started, it was a couple of years back, about 3-4 years ago. So I was listening to just like Lil Wayne and all, listening to songs like Go DJ and all, like mad beats like that, and they used to just remix them.
With your own lyrics?
Yeah.
And would you write lyrics or just come up with them on the spot?
I'm better at doing it on the spot.
Just spitting out?
Yeah, and then recording it and then writing, do you know what I mean?
Speaking of spitting bars, right, when I was in CTK years ago, right, there was a young fella, I don't know if you remember this young fella, I think he was the first black person to ever enter Pear Street. His name was Lucky. Do you remember Lucky? No?
I don't think so.
He lived in the apartments. That was my mask up there. I know them apartments crossing the flats. Tucker's apartments. And he was in my class, right? And he said he was from Hollywood. He wasn't as bollocks. He was from Blade somewhere. And I don't know where he was from.
Hollywood.
Anyway, he fucking come into the school one day and everyone was fascinated. Now it's fucking, it was weird, like, but he was a sound young fella. I think he's still in contact with some of the boys from Pear Street, but he challenged all of us to rap battles. Now, none of us, as far as we know about rap, was fucking 50 Cent.
He's there thinking he's Eminem skill and all.
This fella's coming in like bleeding, like fucking Nas and fucking Tupac and everything else. He's coming in giving a blade Biggie, giving a bollocks, you know what I mean? So I said, right, I'll bleeding tomorrow, lunchtime, in the yard. I'll have a go on, you know what I mean? I'll have a fucking rap battle with you. So I went home, started writing down. Now I can't remember the fucking anything. So I remember proper 8 Mile Eminem rap battle in the backyard in about 4th class, right? And the big fucking circle around us, and I can't remember. He come at me with blade and stuff and everything. I think he robbed it off the MTV now, but he came at me with some stuff that was good. And I came back at him with about 3 sentences. But I just looked around, like I was fucking king of the blading kids at that time. I was fucking the biggest in my class now. I just looked around. And the only way you win is by everyone cheering. So I looked around there and just to say, start putting his fucking hands together. Yeah. So I held that victory. So I'm 1-0 in rap battles, mate. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was a mad old time. The fucking hanging around the school in the yard, yeah. But Yeah, in terms of the rap scene in Ireland, I remember growing up and seeing YouTube, and there was a lot of it. There was none of it in inner city. It was all Ballymun and Ballyferm, and there was none of it in inner city. And me and my mates used to watch it on YouTube. Now it would be like what I'm at the saying there is rap battles in parks. The boys be meeting up like they're going for a knock. It'd be like this person versus that person. Yeah. And to be honest with you, it was fucking muck. We used to watch it just to get a laugh out of it. You know what I mean?
The production of everything was done wrong.
Do you know what I'm saying? But then I listen to YouTube there, and it's like it's proper legit. Like it's proper music. It's like I said to you now, like it's made in a studio. It's lyrics that and it's beats that you wouldn't tell the difference if it was on the telly. You'd think it was a hit. You know what I mean?
Like, I'm not saying this trying to boast or that, but it is what it is in music. And I say this to any artist that watches it, you have to put into your music to get out the results of it. It doesn't work. There's no like skipping the struggle. There's no like going to the cheapest studios and getting the best version done. There's no half writing your lyrics and getting it done and going and making a half-arse video on the park off an iPhone with your mates. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're doing it, you need to get a director.
Fair play,
you need to, do you know what I mean? You need to make sure all that shit's sorted. Like, there's only mistakes that I did, that I didn't, that I made, do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't have any of me bigger stuff sorted, like Spotify, marketing, any of that, and that kind of catch me, in the balls properly, do you know what I mean? This year, I suffered from it. Like, whereas I should have benefited a good bit from music this year, whereas I didn't, because I didn't know what I done right. That was where they went wrong.
You learn your mistakes,
10 or 11 years ago. That production wasn't proper. I don't know whether it's because there wasn't anyone too productive in Ireland.
Maybe so, and the technology and all now is completely different, like, but yeah, so it's definitely, the rap scene is definitely on the rise in Ireland, I think, and I mean, you mentioned there about a few fucking clowns out there that you feel like they put out hits, and like, is there a lot of that still out there? Is there people who sort of half-arse it, or like what's it like? Like you have like in the rap scene and in America and all of a sudden there's always beefing.
Yeah.
What's the story with beefing? Is that still a thing in fucking?
It's a beef in Ireland, but the beef isn't real. It's virtual.
Virtual beef, yeah.
Virtual,
so it's not on site, like you see each other on the street.
They all on the internet, this and that, we're going to smash each other up. But yeah, they see each other on the street, they walk by each other in Grattan Street and in town. And they
so it's not like keyboard warrior.
No, I mean, just for an extra few views.
And
don't get me wrong, business is business, but I'm not going to say it. I've always said it, whether it's you interviewing me or whether it's BBC that's going to interview me, I'm always going to be honest about how I see my part in the scene. Do you know what I mean? I'm never going to...
How important do you think it is to be honest all the time and be real?
All the time. It's key, it's necessary.
There's a lot of fake real out there.
Yeah.
You know, people who say, I'm not keeping it real, I'm the realest, this and that, and there's no one realer than me, there's no one telling it the way we tell it. But they're telling Parky Boys, you know.
I used to be last year, be concerned and being like, oh, I'm the realist and all, and I couldn't care less about that now. I just care about telling my fans my story. Do you know what I mean?
Good. So, moving on then, you started dropping a few hits. What was the first hit you dropped?
Kicking Your Door.
Kicking Your Door, and did it blow up from there? Was that the one that made it blow up? Like, when did you start getting fans? When did you start getting recognition?
After probably On The Map is when I took it out of me early. When I did my first song with AC. I was known in Ireland, you know what I mean? Don't Kicking Your Door, you look back and Kicking Your Door, it's a process, you know what I mean? It wasn't the best at rapping. I was alright. I don't know like why whoever was producing the music didn't tell me to spit it on time. Do you know what I mean? Why didn't put me wild?
What do you mean on time?
Like,
is it off?
Yeah.
The
do you know what I mean? No, it's like it's not the best rap. Like, it should have been done proper. Like, I should have been told like, no, you're not. It's not the best. You know what I mean? Grow a pair of balls and tell me my music's not good. I'm not going to moan at you for criticising me. Do you know what I mean? I'm never going to moan at somebody that criticises me for the best of me. And then I put out Block Is Hot. That was a serious tune. I got in touch with another rapper. Actually, a man Ed that does my videos put me in touch with another rapper that owned the studio. So it was good to go up to him. He put me wide like about saying like, no, rap like this. Do you know what I mean? You see now we was rapping, he was saying do different flows, do this, take your time with it, you know. So that's when I learned. And then I put out Block Is Hot. Big mistake, I should have put that on Jerfac as well. I put it on my own YouTube channel because I was at to put my first song out on the Irish platform. Right. And I was like thinking, I'll bring it to my own YouTube. But so, if I had to put that on the thing, I would have blew up a lot more. Yeah,
so you're making your mistakes, but you're learning from them. That's the thing. And like, I mean, I think a lot of people are afraid to fail. And I think one thing with you and sitting here talking to you and listening to you and the direction that you're heading, I mean, a lot of people are out there and they're afraid to even try.
Loss is part of life, do you know what I mean? It's without, like, you're not going to live without loss. It's impossible. It's actually mad. Like, it's basically impossible to live without loss. Like, you're born and you die. That's a loss, do you know what I mean? There's always going to be a loss in life, do you know what I mean? You lose money all the time, you lose things, you try something that doesn't work, there's always going to be a loss, do you know what I mean? It's just about adapting to it, you know what I mean? There's nothing you can do to change the loss has happened.
That's what I always say. I mean, you need to control what you can and let go of what you can't, innit? Like, I mean,
like, don't get me wrong, still some days I have my bad days and I sit there in the hide van and getting freaked about other things.
Everyone does.
That's nothing even relevant to me, do you know what I mean? Like, it's and I'm still getting up in tangents over, and it's just me getting up in tangents about other things because I'm not happy with myself, do you know what I mean? And
at least you can admit that, mate.
You're trying to redirect that at other people.
You're projecting your fucking anger onto something else, and fair enough, you know what I mean? And I think we all do that, we're only human. I mean, although on social media these days, a lot of people like to try portray themselves as perfect and living the perfect life and having the perfect home and the perfect relationship, and you see through it, you know what I mean?
Do you know what I mean? See people, do you know what I mean, getting a Candy Goose jackets now for Christmas and looking fresh, and everybody thinking, oh, isn't that and at the age of 14 or 15, they forget the time where they're sitting there crying to their ma, putting their ma under serious stress, and their ma nearly having a heart attack. So they can actually get that Candy Goose jacket, their ma probably taking out mortgages and bleeding loans and bleeding this and that, so they can get their son a Candy Goose jacket, so they can fucking post a stupid picture up on Instagram, they can compete with stupid mates which is in stupid generations, you know what I mean?
What do you think that's about, mate? Because I agree with the image, yeah.
I don't like it, like, I don't agree with all this image thing. I judge nobody over close to where I judge nobody over nothing like that, do you know what I mean? I've been in every position you can put me in life, do you know what I mean? So when I get money, I'll still be the same. I won't judge nobody.
And that's what I was about to ask you next. Like, there's a few people who have blown up in Ireland. I mean, you have the boys from Leeds End, we spoke about earlier, they blew up, they done the 3 Arena. I mean, fame hits people differently, you know what I mean? And what way do you think, if you were to blow up, like, and do you see yourself reaching them heights, going beyond them heights?
Of course.
And how do you think you deal with that?
Be the biggest in Ireland. When I'm the biggest in Ireland, still be the same person I am now.
Yeah.
Still be on my block having a joint. Unless I'm rich. You know what I mean? Unless I'm rich and I can't.
Yes.
Unless I can't go down. Like, unless I can't go down on my management or whoever I'm with tells me I'm not to be in your area. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's the only age I'll still be the
same. But I mean, you still want control of your own life. You don't want people to tell you what to fucking do.
I'll be no different. I tell you, like, now, like, I'll be no different. I still work with the same rappers. Even the rappers I work with now don't blow up as quick as me. I won't turn me back on them. I won't forget about them. If any person,
that's loyalty, you know what I mean? And that's rare.
Any person in my area ever starts rapping, I'll still do a song with them. Do you know what I mean?
Fair play.
Still do a song with them.
And do you feel like there's not that same sort of support out there from other people who have blew up?
It is what it is.
It's what it is. But look, like I said,
all I can do is still focus on me. I know for
with rapping, right? So the world is gone a bit bleeding mad with political correctness, and you can't say fucking ant anymore without someone getting offended. Everyone's looking to be offended, and it's get called snowflake generation and everything else. So when you're pointing out raps like that and you're talking about the things you're talking about in your yoke, do you just keep it? Do you consider that? Do you give a fuck about any of that, or do you just fucking let it go? And do you get any hate from your videos? Yeah. And what? Give me some examples. Like, what's the hate?
A lot of hate. Like, people don't want to see an average person growing up.
Working class, come from nothing.
Yeah, making it. Do you know what I mean? They actually don't. It's alright. Yeah, they support these rappers and all that they don't know. You know what I mean? That, like, is miles away from them because they don't know them, never seen them, they couldn't care less if they grow up. That's just another bleeding person see on TV. But then people have watched my struggle. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. If I'll kill some people to watch me become this big public figure, that'll go to be. Do you know what I mean? It's actually, like, I don't know why it actually hurt them, and you can let jealousy consume their life.
Strange thing, you know. Do you think it's I feel like, obviously it's hard to say because we're from Ireland, we're from Dublin, so it's all we really know is the culture here. It's very begrudging. It's very nobody wants this. It's very rare that it's like I always say, you're allowed to clap for others. Your hands aren't gonna shatter. You know what I mean? Just fucking, you know what I mean? Support people.
Every single artist in Ireland that's had to release music in the last 3 or 4 months, I shared every single song probably.
Fair play.
You know what I mean? That I see. Don't get me wrong. There's probably 5,000 artists I didn't see. Yeah. That I did not see. Like, I can't see everything. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Anything I see, I support it.
And do you think is it that big, mate? Is that a lot of people out there now? Is it in the thousands?
A long list of rappers. I didn't step in line.
Is it? Yeah. Fucking hell.
Long list of rappers. Went through every single time. I've looked. I remember being at this level, and I've always surpassed it. And I continue to.
Fair play.
Top, fuck that.
So with fans, I guess that brings on haters. It brings on any women on the scene. They get some women shouting out to you. Do you get the few DMs?
No time for that.
Love it. So what? So there's no Mrs. Panch coming out anytime soon. No, there's no. Alright, so we're staying single. You're gonna play the fucking field. What like it?
You heard it in your next song.
Yeah. Love it. And then going on then, have you had anyone like? Because you mentioned earlier on about people that you were when you were younger and the older people that would sort of step over you or disrespect you. Have you found anyone since you started getting a bit of fame and a bit of you're coming up now? Do you find people are changing their tune?
Everyone's different now. Everybody's different now.
It's weird, isn't it?
So everyone's different. Do you know what I mean? I just smile back and wave. Do you know what I mean? Say thank you very much.
As long as you recognise it, you know what I mean?
I know how I was treated before I blew up. I lived my life, do you know what I mean? I've watched my life come out of my eyes. Now everyone always says, don't forget who this and don't forget that. To really think like, who knows my memory except for me, do you know what I mean? I've watched my life come out. Do you know what I mean? I know who was there, I know who put me down, I know who never believed in me. I just smile now, say yes or no.
That's how you deal with it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it's clever now.
Yeah. And where's the headspace at these days? I mean, I know you're the same, it's different, but I mean in terms of going from rock bottom to sort of up and coming now, to claiming your spot, where the past struggles with fucking bills out your bleeding ears and out your arse. What's life like now for you?
It's alright, I still have my daily life struggles and all, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of shit going on for me behind the scenes, but
It's no one there, it's bad.
No, it's some older now, do you know what I mean? I'm not 17, 18, 19 anymore. I have to just soldier on and get on me.
You've learned from your mistakes,
yeah.
And I know a lot of the music that you do rap about, I mean, it's a lot about, I guess there's a lot about drugs and selling drugs and fucking doing drugs, and I mean, there's a lot of people that would hate on that, you know what I mean? Because it's like you said, but they're the same cunts who are doing it behind closed doors, you know what I mean? They like to point the fingers, but I'm saying,
to rap about my environment, you know what I mean?
this is what but it's reality. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's happening, whether we like it or not, whether you're rapping about it or not, it's still fucking going on. You know what I mean? And as much as you want to ignore it, or people want to ignore it, or not heard about it, it's still happening. It's people out there are in that life. You know what I mean? And I mean, like you said there, you went through it. Myself, I went through it. But what would your advice be to young fellas now that are looking up to you, but are listening to your music? Look, I know you said earlier, and the likes of Fredo and everything else, who said they don't want people to follow in their footsteps. Like, what would your advice be to them young fellas? Because they're listening to your music at one point, and then another point you want them to say, listen to it, but don't copy it.
I rap my life that I live. I have to rap my life that I live, do you know what I mean? Tell my story. But I'd always say to other people, don't be silly, do you know what I mean? As a young person, don't smoke at a young age. Don't be going out doing the stupid things that we done. If you're going to do them, you're going to do them. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing I can do to stop them, do you know what I mean? All I can advise them is box clever, do you know what I mean? Don't be childish. Don't bring that on your family, do you know what I mean?
And that's the worst part, isn't it? Like, I mean, when you start to see your loved ones be affected by it, I mean, that's when it sort of hits home. That's when you're going to say, you need to have a conversation with yourself.
No problem, yeah. It's just big problems going on. What am I going to do you know what I mean?
And anyone out there who might be going through it at the minute, who's in it, who's balls deep in it, who has bills coming out of their fucking eyeballs, right now, listening to this.
Don't get any more. Don't get anything else.
Stop while you're ahead.
Stop while you're ahead. Just stop. Walk so out and sort it. Do you know what I mean?
I'd say that's why, like, if you're in a hole, stop digging in it.
Yeah.
But look, what else would we go on to? I mean, you're talking about the women, so there's no women on the scene. That's what I have written down here. I want to know who Panch is with. But what's coming for the future? What's 2021? I mean, we don't know what way it's going to go with lockdowns and bollocks, but I mean, in an ideal world, what way does it look for you?
Me taking over this whole music scene.
Yeah.
Best music ever coming out.
Love it. And how do you do that? Like, how are you going to drop it? Where are people going to find it? Where are they going to listen to it? Where's...
You can go over to my Instagram and check it out. Like, I'll always have links into my bios of all that. They'll be going out on different platforms now. We're going to try out a few new platforms. I put them on Irish platforms before, so we're going to try English ones with the next ones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Try and expand. Try and put the city on the map proper.
Do you,
Let them see the inside.
do you think there's a lot of difference between the English rap scene and the Irish rap scene, or do you think it's very similar, or what? Like,
No, it's the exact same.
exactly the same, yeah. Yeah, and where
I
like,
can tell, like, I can study it. Like, I know I know who's a real rapper in England, who's a fake rapper in England, just by who shoots that video.
right,
Do you know what I mean?
right,
Even though I've never met a rapper in their life, I can just tell.
just by looking at a video and
Just
who
by
shot it,
who shot that video.
you know who's who, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
How and why is that such a giveaway?
Because videos are cheap. You can tell a cheap video from a their video.
Right,
I only work with Ed, did it?
right. And your videos are class, with
Oh, you say yourself. As you said, you know what I mean? We're talking about it earlier on.
Good
You can
videos.
tell it's the exact same.
I'll give
People
you
just
that
want to
much.
take your money. Everybody just wants to make money off artists. They literally just want to suck artists up while they don't know shit about them. Get them signed under contract. Say to them, oh no, I'll put your music up on Spotify for you. I'll do this for you. Yeah, you're doing it because we're getting paid for you, fucking muppet.
I heard
Do you know what I mean?
Kanye West speaking before about the music industry in general, and he says like it's a dangerous game to get into. He says with contracts and everything else. He says the rappers and the artists are basically being raped by the fucking.
I wouldn't be able to live with
companies.
myself if I was signing a contract now. I wouldn't sleep at night. I tell you the house straight. I
Oi.
would not sleep. I'd lose sleep knowing that somebody has control of me. You're locked, like you have it locked.
So would you not sign to a label if one came knocking at your door? No. So do you not think that would elevate you though? No.
I would.
But
But they're not going to sign me unless they have a reason to sign me. Do you know what I mean? They're obviously offering me this because they can do that for it. They see this in me. If they can see that in me, I can do it myself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And obviously there's a bit of help with labels because they have the sort of recognition and the fame, and they probably have a few others. But
But they don't. They do, and they don't at the same time. You look at most of the biggest songs in all the world, even in the countries, are off artists' own channels. Like Funky Friday by Fred on Davis off Davis' own channel. It's not on GRM.
they produce it themselves and everything.
You know what I mean? Like, it's all about your fan base. People think, oh no, you need labels for this and that. You don't need them. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. They do you a little favour to get you this, but
They
take most
probably
of your money.
bleed you dry at the end of it.
Do you know what I mean? Do you want this with no money? There's a big difference. I do my rap stuff so I can get paid.
100%.
You know what I mean? I do so I can get paid and live my dream. There's two reasons I don't want to just live my dream and not be paid.
What's the videos like? What's it like shooting the videos? Like I remember I drove into the flats one day, the big place was hopping, I didn't know what was going on.
They're alright, they are. I do get nervous at my videos because there's so many watching, do you know what I mean? Like, and me dancing, like, and me movement and all was all flash. I wasn't really the best at it, you know, so I used to get nervous at the shoots. Now I just, when I shoot, because I feel the rhythm and all the things I do, just be beaming with confidence in front of the camera, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the only way you can gain confidence. For people out there who have none of it, like even doing this talking, like every episode I get a little bit more calm, I get a little bit more relaxed, but you have to do it to fucking get it, you know that way. And that's the thing, people are so afraid to do a music video, to do that first rap, to sing that first song and put it out there.
If you don't try.
Exactly, yeah, so that's the
I
thing.
know. Would you rather sit there and like be like, why didn't I do this at the age of 30? Would you rather give it a bash, take the loss and go again, do you know what I mean? As we were talking about earlier, yeah, like it's always lost, do you know what I mean? Sometimes stuff doesn't go the way you want it.
So at the moment you said earlier on about gargling, you try to stay away from gargling nowadays, is that any reason for that? Is it just not agree with you? Is it just something, why did you come to that decision?
Sure, you go out and waste money on the drink and time and all, and not be in the right mindset, especially with me now starting to become a rapper and trying to be a public figure. Don't want me words getting twisted. I don't want to be caught out of like out of my right mindset, you know what I mean? Be at a party, buckled, somebody says something, I literally mutter a word and boom. Do you know what I mean?
That can be it. That's all it
Sometimes
takes.
you might even have to have said something, you're just there, do you know what I mean?
Do you think you're ready for all that, mate? Because with that fame, there's people that are going to try tarnish you. There's people that, like, I mean, they'll go out of their way to just fucking spit on your name, you know what I mean? It's just because
anybody that tries to run with my personal music career, it would be took very personally.
Yeah.
Like, it won't be took music wise, I take it very personally. That's affected me, that's affected my family, and that's affected me. I'm paying back my family for a lot of bad things I've done in my life. If people
you see it as people going in your pocket and taking money out of your pocket, yeah.
I look at them around in my life. Anybody that tries to mess with my music, I look at them trying to sabotage my life.
That's how serious it is.
That's how serious. I don't take my music as a half-arse, like I'm in this to do. My music is my only option. I've no other option in life but music. I don't see myself doing anything else apart from becoming what I plan to be. Do you know what I mean? Anybody who sabotages that tries to get in the way to that would just have to be took out of the way. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just have to. That's why I make it clear now. Like, anybody in the scene, anyone in the music scene that tries to twist my words, tries to put up silly videos of me, tries to diss me, mention my names and songs, tries to do anything whatsoever to tarnish my name, I won't be held responsible. Do you know what I mean?
Fair enough, mate. There's the warning for you as well, yeah.
I'm not saying it's trying to be big, like acting big or big-headed or that, and I just take my music very seriously. I'm not.
Nothing wrong with that, mate. You're passionate about it. You have to be. If you're in the game, whatever game you're in.
Don't hate on me because I'm putting 100% in my music and you're only putting 40% into yours. Don't tarnish mine because you're seeing results from mine and you're not seeing results in your own. Do you know what I mean?
100%, yeah. But look, that's your perspective on it. That's the way you take it, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being a passionate person, and if that's how you view it, that's how you view it, you know. And as far as the people around you in your life now, I mean, who's around you now? I mean, you spend most of your time with rappers. You still with the boys from the flats? Is it a bit both? Is it what's that?
I don't really be around many rappers, to be honest with you. I talked to about 10 rappers. I reckon I talked to them in the hardest scene.
Yeah, like, are they Dublin? Are they nationwide? Where are they?
A few of them. There's a few. Most of them in Dublin. 1 or 2 out of Dublin.
What's it like when it goes out of Dublin? Because once you go out of Dublin, it's just cultures like.
No, it's alright. There's a few good rappers down the country. Out straight.
Is that, yeah?
Yeah. There's a rapper up in Belfast. His name's Hyphen. Sick. See how we have a strong Dublin accent.
Belfast is a city, you know what I mean?
See how we have a strong Dublin accent.
He's a naughty accent.
Yeah, and you should hear the way you can just hear the venom in the accent in the way he spits.
What do you think about people who rap and they're from Dublin and they sound like they're from fucking New York or fucking
England,
LA or England or an English accent or an American accent, whatever?
Depends on your circumstances. There's a few rappers I know.
Is there a few? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few rappers I know that are rapping in English accents and all, but it's different. Like, some are inspired by English people. Do you know what I mean? Some of them actually have grew up just watching English people, so
they sort of imitate it.
Yeah, they
mimic it a bit.
And they're saying in an interview the way that I'm saying it now, that they are inspired from it. But there's some people that do it just because they see it's the latest trend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But and then that changing then when the trend changes, doesn't it? So you need to stick to yourself, don't you? You need to keep it real, don't you? And then, I mean, so you said earlier on, no matter how big you get, that's what I'm gonna remember this line because I'll hold you to it. How big you get, you'll be on the block smoking a joint with the boys, yeah? 100%. I'll tell you a story.
That's what I'm allowed to. By if and when I'm big.
There's a story. We'll tell you this one. A few years ago, I was talking about what age I'm 27 now. I think it was about 19, and no, I would have been older. I think it was about 21. I'm lying. About 21, 22, right? And the boys were up in one of the boys' gaffs and they were all smoking. As they do, and I went up and they're all smoking and hitting the bong, right? And this fucking thing was huge. I've never seen that like in my life. And I wasn't used to that like that. You know what I mean? I didn't smoke much, I'd drink. I'd fucking end up taking coke and it was a bleeding bit of a session I had, but other than that I wasn't a smoker. I wasn't, look, I mean, when I was a kid, I remember sitting around the fucking flats and smoking pollen. Do you know what pollen you're born in? I don't even think you can get pollen anymore, but anyway.
It's a good pollen.
So the boys were fucking smoking away, and we all were outside in the back garden and we were all smoking joints. They're passing this bong around, right? And I was panicking. I was saying, what the hell? I never done that like this,
But you were like, you
so I said, I'm boss, Steve. I'm not being called a pussy here, you know what I mean? So I'm going for it. So next of all, my mate beside me who done it, he took a tiny bit. He must be more afraid than I was. He took it, you know, like that, in and out, didn't even inhale it. And they all started laughing at him, and they called him powder fat. So in my head I said, what the fuck, powder fat? So what they were talking about was, imagine putting talcum powder on your arse and farting, and only a little bit of dust coming out, right? So they were calling him powder fat because they said only a small bit of smoke come out. So I was thinking to myself, oh, for fuck's sake, I'm up next, so I'm gonna have to get a big fucking toke on this and get it in the lungs and breathe it out like a fucking dragon. So I do take a big, hold it in, and I let it out.
Start choking.
No, grand. Next of all, back in, so I'd start watching stupid fucking videos on YouTube, and the room starts fucking spinning. And they're all looking at me, what's wrong with you? And I'm saying, nothing, I'm grand. So I start getting the giggles, everything else. Then the giggles went away very fast, and I got paranoid as fuck me. And I just said, boys, I need to go. I need to go home. One of you need to walk me fucking home. So two of the boys were going that way anyway. And when I tell you now, I went blind. I couldn't fucking see, Panch, right? I went blind from taking that hill out the bong, right? I was convinced I was dying and having a heart attack. Right? Right? I was convinced I was having a heart attack. Right? I couldn't get into my gaff because I couldn't lift my head up to put my key in my door. And one of the boys were laughing at me, and I said, if I'm still alive tomorrow, I said, I'm gonna fucking kill you. So I got into the gaff, and anyway, and I remember trying to scream, but nothing would come out. So I couldn't see, I couldn't use my voice. I was fucking paralysed, and I thought I was dying of my heart attack. So I was ready to go. I was telling God, here I am, take me. So next of all, my mum busts in the door, because the only way I could get someone's attention was banging on the wall. My arm was the only thing working. So my mum busts in the door, what's fucking wrong with you? And she's saying, I couldn't respond. It was something fucking like that. The sweats were coming out. I had the grains, you know, terrible. But I thought I was dying. So I was having a major panic attack. I manifested a major panic attack. So she rings an ambulance. Fucking ambulance comes out. And I get into the thing, and they said, "Hell, I'm having a heart attack." ECG scans, right? And he's saying to me, "There's nothing wrong with you, mate." I said, "Bring me to the fucking hospital, I'm dying." So he gets me to the hospital. I'm in A&E for ages. I can't lift my head. My head's in my lap. I can't lift my head off my lap. And then a few hours passed, and I'm still there. But it's starting to wear off.
The stone's gone.
Right? So your man calls me, and then I'm feeling embarrassed. I said, "Look at me, right? I fucked up, you know what I mean? I shouldn't be here. All I did is..."
I'm not ringing an ambulance when someone actually...
Do you know what I'm saying? So what happens then is, right, I had a tenner in my pocket for a taxi home. And the munchies kicked in, about 8 o'clock in the morning. Now I'm in James's hospital, I have to walk down the Pear Street, and the thing I'm thinking about is get a taxi, or let's go to that centre on Dame Street and get 2 of them chicken fillet rolls for like €2. So I saved me money, walked home because I got the munchies. My ma walked in, my ma's nails are gone. Yeah, alright. Yeah, man, I'm going to bed, I'm bloody starving, there's nothing there to eat, you know that, like, but still to this day, if any of the boys talk about anything, or in the WhatsApp group or anything, if any talk of weed comes up or anything, if I say anything, they just send the ambulance emojis in. So I never get to live it down. So other than that, then I think that they're on the vapes now and all that. I mean, the vapes are probably the thing that's going around now. Did you ever hit them?
I don't really like them. They even throw the bits to the white rat. It's such a big fat joint.
Yeah. And yeah, do you put tobacco in your joints? Yeah. See, tobacco. See, I don't. That's one thing I don't. I'm trying to be healthy, aren't I? I'm trying to stay away from all the nicotine and shit. But yeah, look, I'm sober now in 3 years in August, so I stay away from everything as much as like. My life was turned around, you know what I mean? Because I went from being flat out on it and all. So, look, we have about a minute and a half left. If there's anything you want to say, I know we always said where people can find you, but what your Instagram is at Panch.
Panch detail.
Official Panch detail.
_ detail.
YouTube, the videos are out there. And we've about a minute left, so whatever you want to say to the camera or to the people listening in, take it away, mate.
First thing, make sure when this album drops to stream this all over this country. Australia, you ain't getting any more music for about 2 years, yeah? Not even joking. Make sure this is flat all over the country. And to all the kids, don't make the mistakes I made.
Respect me.
Australia, don't make them.
Respect, and it's important to say that.
You know how it is.
Thanks
for having me on.
Right, nice one.
I appreciate that. Bye, Jake.